Hello viewers, Super GT here. We are back on Gran Turismo Sport and we're using the most overpowered car in Group 4. Yes, it's the Renault Megane around Bathurst. It basically goes like this. If you don't use this car, you're going to lose. It's as simple as that. And especially on a track like this, I mean there are a lot of corners on this track, but there are also two very long straights. So first off, we start off in 5th position in the pack through the first corner. Now, you know, first corners on this game are never too bad. Maybe it was back there for those guys, a massive gap already. But compared to Forza, I mean, because you've got a single file rolling start with a nice gap between each car, it's never normally too bad on the first corner for carnage. That's not to say that it might not turn to an absolute atrocity later, but we shall see. Coming up through turn 3 and 4, we actually have an Aston Martin up here in 3rd place. He's doing very well, punching above his weight, it must be said. Fair play to that guy. I did actually try a race around here I tried it in the Mazda Atenza, and it was very nice handling through this section here, which you need really for this area. But then as soon as I got to the long straights, I was just getting absolutely wrecked. I was just getting pummeled by the Meganes just coming flying past me. So I thought I'd give them a go, see how it goes. So coming through the S's, very tricky section. It looks like all manner of hell's breaking loose up ahead. The Aston Martin, bit of contact with the other Megane. I tried to force my way through. It wasn't quite going to work there. I'm on the outside. He's going to slot in just ahead, I'd imagine. The Frenchman in the Renault with a penalty. And then I'm going to try to overtake to the right. No, go to the left. And then he's going to block to the left as well. And then I go to the right. And just make contact with him and lose all my momentum. So there's what I'd consider an illegal double swiping defensive block. But oh well. You know, no sweat over that one. I suppose there are worse things in life. But not many worse things than that, to be honest. That Megane just comes weighing in. Jesus Christ. The Aston Martin just goes flying off. I mean, it was a bad defensive move, but there's no need for that. Aston Martin just getting abused hardcore right now. This is the final corner. Megane on the inside. Of course, I mean, it's just all Meganes now. We might as well not even bother saying Megane. So up the inside, actually, I could have gone down to 4th there, but it turns out I'm going to go up into 2nd, into the first corner on the inside. Braking a little bit late, just using all of the extra AstroTurf on the outside, keeping 2nd position. So I'm going to move over to the left hand side, take the normal racing line. I would imagine, there he goes, yeah, he does appear on the right hand side, tucking into that slipstream. There is a chance though I can still just keep this around the outside. Let's see if I can do it. Slightly late on the brakes, give him a car whip from the inside, but just keep the momentum nicely around the outside, keeping 2nd position. That's good. We started 5th. Anything above 5th, I mean, is a good result really. It means I would have at least gone forwards, trying to overtake that Aston Martin at least. I should be really going past the Aston, as I have done already. That's, I suppose, the minimum aim for this race, to try to beat what is technically the slower car. So, a defensive race is going to kind of unfold, it seems, because 1st place is he's well gone. He's whoa, actually massive fishtail. It looks like I'm a fish out of water there, trying to absolutely meander my way through there. And thankfully, it did not result in death. Usually, when it results in death, that's not very helpful. This time, not resulting in death, useful. Through the dipper, through Forest Elbow, on the long downhill straight. So a massive straight here where you can really use the straight line speed of this car. It's going to be totally cancelled out though, of course, by the other Megane behind me. So our speed should be about the same. Although I had a poor run out of the previous corner, plus he's got slipstream, so he's up the inside. I do have the inside now for the chase. It's going to be a good move. He's gone a little bit deep. I'm going to try looking around the outside. It's not quite going to happen there. I'm just going to try to keep my momentum. Move to the right hand side. And you see I have actually gone back into 2nd. Can I keep this one around the outside? I am slightly ahead there. And on the exit, yeah, that was just my mistake. Just drove a little bit too keenly there. And I'm going to lose that position as a result. Sometimes it's best just maybe there I could have just given up the position and just slotted nicely into third. But I was actually far too keen to really try and keep second. That's the price you pay. That's the beauty of racing, I guess. You have to make these decisions. Sometimes by trying to get too much, you will lose even more, and that has proven true in this instant here. But it's the final lap 3 of 3, so a fairly short race, about 7 minutes in total. This is what I want to see. I want to see them both battling. This is going to help me get onto the back of them. I lost about a second or two there, so I'm already onto the back of them. Turns 3 and 4 here. It's kind of one long looping corner. The Renault ahead, the Frenchman's gone very wide. I've actually just grazed the wall on the inside, but we are away. Still right on their tail. We never know how this one might materialise. It could be very interesting with half a lap remaining through the these corners are fairly tricky to get right, and especially the S's section coming up. That one you kind of have to turn in at the crest of that hill, just at the very top. The Frenchman's going for a move on the Spaniard. Now that is strong, and the Spaniard's actually going to have to go over the escape road there. Still in the same positions though, no overtaking done quite at this moment. Could that change though as you come down the hill? You probably don't want to go for the overtake here. It's probably best to wait for the slipstream down the long straight. Frenchman not with the best run through there. It's actually probably give me a chance of slipstream down this straight. Let's see how this one materialises into that slipstream. The Aston Martin over a second behind. Probably don't have to worry about him unless I get battered around. Let's see how this one unfolds. Tucking right into that slipstream, very close. I could go for a move here. I'm going to just play it patient on the brakes. The Frenchman gone way too deep around the outside. The Spaniard pushes him out. I'm going to go around his outside, and he's just going to edge me out. And in an absolutely brutal move, I'm going to die, smash into the tyre wall, get overtaken by that Aston. So I guess I did have to worry about the Aston. And then into the final corner. It's going to be a lonely 5th place. Not good at all. That could have been a second there. It really just swung one way, and unfortunately the wrong way. Actually getting promoted up to 4th. The Aston Martin somehow got a 5-second penalty, so as a result of that, I go back into 4th. Top 4 all Renault Meganes. It kind of shows you have to have it. But that race, it really went one way at the end there. It really could have gone very well for me. I could have gone up to 2nd. The Spaniard just was having none of it. He was just going to show me wide every day of the week. So unfortunately, plenty of damage, plenty of death, smashed into the tyre wall. Hasn't gone well at all. Now this is a showcase of just how good this car is in a straight line. You see we're behind a BMW, and coming out then, and behind the Frenchman coming down the straight. This is just the practice, the warm up. You see here just how quick it is. We're gaining so much, maybe a second on each straight you gain because of the speed. You're just going to lose a couple of seconds a lap by not driving this car. In a way I don't mind really, because as long as everyone's driving the same car, it doesn't really matter too much. And you'll see in this race at the end, I think it was about the top 8 or so, all in Renault Meganes at the start at least. So everyone's got the memo eventually that you have to drive this car, otherwise you will fail. So this time around, starting the race in 3rd position. So I forgot to say, I mean, we're around Mount Panorama, you probably know that by now. It's a really cool circuit, really varied, long straights, but also really tight and twisty stuff as well, and it's very hard to master. The guy ahead, the Dutchman, getting really sideways through there. Quite how he recovered that, I am not sure. And I went to defend to the right here, but this Spaniard actually was very clever and actually dipped to the left. It was a good move in the end, a little bit untidy, but nothing too sinister there. I think that's more me just driving into the wall. So 4 away at the front here. Let's see how this one develops, because we saw in the previous race the leader kind of just got away. Far too much battling between everyone else for 2nd, and that just let the leader get away. You don't want to battle too much. The Dutchman goes off. Can I get past? Just about can. Back up into 3rd place. So we're back into the position where we started. That's good. That's good to see. Now, can we go one better? We probably could have got 2nd in the previous race. If we can do that here, that would be very nice. 1st place once again looks like he is pulling away. Now, it is pretty tricky to actually control this car, and many of you will comment about the chase cam and how weird it looks. I'll agree with you, it does feel unusual, it does feel weird, it does feel like Gran Turismo of old to me. It does feel quite similar, it does feel stiff, yeah. I think the best experience you'll get in this game is with a wheel. I don't have a PlayStation wheel, that's why. Bit of contact through there, but I don't think I really turned in too late there. I think he turned a little bit too early if anything. But he's still on the track, so it's okay. Now that's the advantage of the slipstream there, you can see. So quite nicely going through into second. So a bit of deja vu here. Up into second, early days, a higher position than where we started. So perhaps punching above our weight. Could we perhaps reel in the Spaniard in the lead and go for the victory? Now that would be very nice indeed. On to lap number 2. This is a 2:19 lap number 1. The kind of lap times you want to be looking for are 2:12s or below. I haven't had a very good run through there. So the other Spaniard is now going to be on my left hand side. It's going to be a drag race. Now we saw in the previous race I kind of held a position from where he was. So let's see if he can do it to me, or will I be able to lunge him up the inside? Yes, I'm just going to break it later and just force him to the outside, cover the inside so he can't do a cutback on me. Now I'm not going to let him do the same thing, I'm just going to cover the left hand side. He's right there on my tail, so close, pretty much pushing me up the hill. But that was good defensive work there, just covering him off, making sure he wasn't going to appear on my left hand side and have the inside line for those corners there. So keep in second position. A bit of defensive work. It's always good to have a varied race where you're attacking and defending at the same time, or not at exactly the same time, but at some points during the race. Taking that corner there very nicely, if I may say so myself. Bit of fishtailing, violent fishtailing once again. I am once again a fish out of water, but thankfully someone's just thrown me back into the ocean because I'm okay. And as we come down towards the last couple of corners before the long straight, hooking out very nicely, a little bit late on the brakes but not too bad. This car has lots and lots of power on those front wheels, and it really does want to kind of straighten itself out when you smash down that throttle, so you really do have to be careful about that. Shifting up into third gear quite early, you'll notice in a lot of these slower corners, to prevent that from happening. So 141.6 through the final split as we come through the chase, or sorry, now into the chase now. So I'm just going to get bumped from behind. I braked exactly where I meant to by the 2 cones. I'm not being inconsistent there. So that's just brutal, and it's just happened so many times. So many times I've just been pushed in the back, and it turns out the other guy doesn't get a penalty. The Frenchman going for a mad lunge up the inside kind of works, but then he went a little bit too deep. So I'm going to go back up into 4th place. So is there a chance here of perhaps a better run than we had in the previous race? Let's hope so, because it was a little bit disappointing to finish in 5th last time when it might have been 2nd. So in 4th we got the Frenchman on our tail here. So unfortunately we're going to have to go a little bit defensive. That's going to lose us time to the guys ahead. We can only hope really that they make a mistake, start smashing into each other. Into turn number 2 on the inside. I know how to defend that corner. Brake a tiny bit later than you normally would. And just make sure they have no way around the outside, and then cover them off on the exit as well. So I've got a clear run through turns 3 and 4, very wide entry. Use the camber on the inside, the car really goes through there very nicely. We've actually got a bit of a train forming behind me now. I am the front carriage of the Super GT Express. Everyone's trying to get past me, so I'm a blocking train right now. I'm still going to try my absolute best to try and pull away from them, to give myself a buffer, a bit of space before I get to that straight. I don't really want to have him on my tail when we're going down that long straight towards the chase, because he's got a very good chance of getting in that slipstream. I'm actually catching up with the South African now. There is possibly a chance here of getting 3rd. I've actually had a really lightning sector there. Purple sectors lighting up the screen right now. The South African here under pressure, a little bit late on the brakes there, and having to just lift off momentarily through the apex. But back on the throttle. Is this too far away maybe for a bit of slipstream? I don't think I'll be able to pass into the chase. That is a little bit too big of a gap. But if we get it right, we could possibly pass into the final corner, Murray's Corner, turn 23 of the track. So into the chase. There are the 2 cones, pretty much where I was braking every lap. So I'm not sure why the Spaniard wanted to abuse my rear end. I guess that's just an attractive proposition for him. Unfortunately for me, into the final corner. There's the 2 cones. It's not going to be a 3rd place. It's going to be a 4th. So unfortunately, it's only a 4th place. We went down a position in that race. Started 3rd and went down to 4th. The first race started 5th, went up to 4th. So +1 and a -1. You can see there, top 8 all in Meganes. You basically have to use it on this kind of track with a long straight. Otherwise you are doomed to fail. But there we go, guys. I do hope you enjoyed this video. It was still very fun. I mean, it's very nice when lots of different cars will have the capability of winning a race. I suppose in this instance here, it's just fair in a way because everyone's kind of using the same car. But it would be nice to see the Megane nerfed a little bit, so that there is a bit more balance between all the cars. It just is simply too fast in a straight line. But there we go. Hopefully that happens. We shall see. Also looking forward very much to the single player campaign mode coming to GT Sport at some point in December. Not sure exactly when, but I'll no doubt be making a video or 2 on that, and maybe even a stream. So of course do subscribe if you'd like to see that, and if you're new to the channel, smash the like button like that Spaniard smashed me at the chase, and hope to see you in the next one. Thank you for watching as always. Goodbye.